All right, welcome back. Let's talk about Tolu Odukoya, Pastor Tolu Odukoya of what's the name of their church? I forgot. It probably will come up in a second. All right, so she celebrated her 40th birthday some few days ago, or maybe last week or something like that. She celebrated her 40th birthday. She's the daughter of the late Pastor Mrs. Odukoya, who passed away in an air crash years ago, and also uh, the father recently passed away from complications from cancer, I think. She's also sister to Pastor Jimmy Odukoya, the actor, who is now a full-time pastor, I think. So let me see if I can play this video. Let's see if we managed to play this video.
Last 10 years, I'll say I'm separated. Most people don't know I'm separated, and that has truly defined or has shaped my life. It was circumstances beyond my control. But sometimes when you get into a marriage, you do not get into a marriage to leave a marriage. You see, in fact, it's a death in a way. When your marriage is over, it's a death. So I'll say in the last 10 years, I've experienced a couple of deaths. The death of my marriage, the death of my stepmom, the death of my dad's twin sister.
Wow, that's a lot. I'm not going to stop the audio from there because it's playing on one side. I'm not sure if it's playing very well. But I wanted to, the reason why I'm bringing this up because, again, it's an opportunity to learn. So this is a pastor. A lot of people in the religious setting are still very much delusional, very much so, very delusional when it comes to the marriage institution or just romantic relationships for long-term purposes. A lot of people in the religious setting are still delusional. They are very entitled. They think all you have to do is just know Jesus, and suddenly a healthy relationship will just fall out of the skies. You're right. That's not realistic. It's unrealistic expectations, and it's going to cost you your lifetime if you're not very careful. So in this post, according to Punch newspaper, the associate senior pastor of the Fountain of Life Church, Tolu Odukoya, has reviewed how a separation from her husband alongside a series of personal tragedies shaped her faith and calling in ministry. Not all pastors are incompetent of helping with relationships, by the way. Some of you, by the time we say seek help from a pastor, you're very defensive quickly. Like a lot of pastors are starting to understand that it's no longer enough. They are actually studying and learning how relationship works. So don't be so quick to dismiss that either. Again, the problem here is making absolutes. Okay, when you're just very quick to be judgmental, that becomes a problem. It becomes a blind spot for you. That's why I always talk about active listening. Pay attention. Don't make assumptions. Okay, listen. We have biases. That's normal. But I also want you to check it. Okay. She said, I'll say I'm separated. Most of you don't know I'm separated, and that's actually defined and shaped my life. Okay. But I want to look at some of these comments. Somebody says, so what will you now preach to intending couples when it gets stormy? Okay, so first of all, separation and divorce are viable options. You will attract what you fear the most. If you don't think of separation and divorce as viable options, you're probably going to attract it, because what is speaking louder is your fear of separation and divorces. What you focus on expands. So if you're focused on your hate and your disdain for separation and divorces, you will attract it. It will show. It will show in your outlook on life, number one. It will also show in your subtle subconscious behaviors. You will probably end up smothering the life out of your relationships because you're entitled. You don't think that anything that's worthwhile requires work. That's what will make you just hate divorce. So God hates divorce. Me too. Yes, I hate divorce too. That has nothing to do with your obsession with your hate for divorce. So let's be calming down. So when people see a pastor divorce someone like her, they're very like, so what we now preach to intending couples when it gets to storming? You preach to them that it's okay to preserve yourself. Because remember, it takes two people. And sometimes the coconut head is no be here. And sometimes for their head to correct, you have to back off. It can be permanent, it might be temporary. But if you don't back off, you're almost saying it's okay to be mistreated or to be taken for granted. Sometimes, not all the time. It depends on people's specific situation. So that question is a good question nonetheless, but you can preach to intending couples to make sure they're not pouring from an empty cup. How's that? Tolu Odukoya, you're a great woman. Another comment says, it's never easy to be this vulnerable. When the Bible says do not be unequally yoked, we often believe this means being with an unbeliever or someone of another faith. Two people can be serving in the same congregation and still be unequally yoked. The mom preached one side of marriage. This mess is an event bigger. This mess is an event bigger message. Interesting. What do you mean? Why is that a shot fired at the mom? Jesus Christ. It's undefeated. Please, I need help with that expression of two good people that can't be together. It's very simple. Being a good person is good for you. That's not a competency thing when it comes to marriage. Okay. If you're good for you. If you're a good person, clap for yourself. You need candy? If I see you next time, I'll give you candy. But it's going to take a lot more than being a good person. Why do I feel the need to say that? Because if you think you're a good person, there's a good chance you think your partner is a bad person. So you end up pointing fingers. Well, the rest of the four fingers are pointing at you. You're shooting yourself on the legs. You're not learning anything from that angle. You're not learning anything from that angle. So let me tell you something. This is what people mean when they say love is not enough. Okay, it's a pregnant statement. Be open to say, what do you mean by love is not enough? What do you mean by love? What's your understanding of love? You know, but I get it when people say it. Sometimes love and effort aren't enough. What do you mean by effort? How much effort are we talking about? What kind of trauma do you bring to the table when you're saying effort? Are you backing down too soon or too late? It depends on everybody's stories, right? Everybody's specific stories. So it's not going to be as simple as generalizing. I'll tell you that much right now. It's okay to generalize. Just know that it doesn't tell us anything. I will need you to tell me more. Okay. Lasting relationships requires effort. Ongoing effort. Why? Why can't it just be about happiness? It's about happiness. That's the point. That's the objective. Okay. But just understand that, just like in life in general, sometimes you find yourself inside of yeah. Let me see here. Mario says, do people want their pastors to lie? That's how reality. They will prefer that they lie sometimes, believe it or not. It's crazy. But that's how people are. I think all of us would like to keep fantasizing and dreaming to a large extent. I think it's a part of what creates our experience too. But at some point, we have to understand that falling too much on that side too is not good. And that's what the church has preached for so long. It's fantasies. But in due time, as you can see, it's telling on us. You have pastors now. You have the whole Pastor Chris Oyakilome publicly divorcing and then throwing a societal wedding for the daughter, and the wife or ex-wife is nowhere to be seen in sight. It's crazy. That's the world we live in today. What should that tell you? Well, it's just a human being, right? Especially with the coconut head, the power dynamics of a Pastor Chris Oyakilome. All of that makes sense to me. All of that, the whole thing. So what's the lesson here? Self-preservation, self-respect, self-love, all of that. You need to start with that. If you've never done it before, start today, and then it will increase your chances of having a successful marriage a successful long-term relationship. If you resent divorce and separation, if you don't end up divorced, you will end up in a toxic relationship. Okay, divorce and separation is not the enemy, it's you. You're your own worst enemy most of the time. Shout out to Marriott and Natu for hanging out with me. Shout out for not giving up on me. I really appreciate the two of you. Okay, especially Marriott. Natu, they always day here too, but it looks like Natu is busy with other things behind the scenes right now. She might even be in Kaduna for all we know. So, but shout out to both of you. I appreciate you guys. And shout out to everybody that keeps coming back. I see the numbers. I know many of you come back and you prefer to watch the replays. I appreciate all of you. But do me a favor, do something for me. Help me continue to share. Okay? The only thing I'm counting on right now is consistency. That's all I'm counting on. Okay? So hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I'll be back sooner than you think. This is Ola, man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag, yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.